What is the English language plural of octopus? If you said octopi, you're technically wrong, but pragmatically correct. In language, what is correct is set by common usage. So, because many people do use octopi to be the plural of octopus, that means it is. But the derivation of the word octopi itself is reliant on not one, but two misconceptions about the way that grammar works in both English and in Latin. The plural octopi is based on the assumption that octopus should follow Latin grammar rules for creating plurals. But in English, common words, even those taken from other languages, tend to follow English language rules for creating plurals. Thus, the most grammatically correct plural, if such a thing can even exist, would be octopuses. There is, however, a more fundamental problem with using Latin rules, because octopus is not Latin, it's Greek. So, if it's not going to follow English language rules, it should at least follow Greek, and thus the plural should be octopodes, as in octopodes nuts. At least the English would be octopodes. I believe the Greek would be closer to octopodes, but I know so little Greek that when I watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, I genuinely thought that Socrates was supposed to be pronounced Socrates. Even if we were using Latin grammar, the plural still wouldn't be octopi. But to explain why, I first need to explain Latin grammar. Grammatical case in English is denoted using word order, but in Latin it must be explicitly marked using case endings. The nominative plural case ending e only applies to words in Latin's second declension, but octopus is from the third. Latin declensions are categories of words that have the same case endings. While not quite the same thing, this is analogous to how a language like French will apply different verb conjugations depending on the verb's ending. Octopus is mistakenly put in the second declension because us is a common ending of second declension words. But a more reliable way of knowing what declension a word belongs to is to look at its genitive form, which in the case of octopus is octopodes, which is classic third declension. This means that its plural should be octopodes, which is coincidentally very similar to the Greek. Looking at Ngram Viewer, we can see that octopuses is used around 4 times as often as octopi. Octopodes is a distant third with barely any usage.